Violence. Violence can be an effective tool. And that's easily seen across the world. The current hegemon owes everything it is, like white supremacy owes everything it is to horrific violence. And you see the subjugation in all the other buffer classes. How they bow their heads, how they try to bleach their skin, how they try to change their eyes, and they do everything to cosplay as them. But the irony is, we as foundational Black Americans, for the most part, we have our coons. We'll discuss that on a future video. But we don't give a damn about them. We don't. We move how we move, and we stay in our lane. And they still fuck with us. Because here's the thing. The violence that they have inflicted upon the world has gotten almost everybody to completely subjugate themselves to them. Completely. They have grown dependent upon the global minority. They have. And the Stockholm Syndrome that I see is hilarious. Like Japan, for instance. They nuked Hiroshima and they nuked Nagasaki. They could have easily wiped them off the map. But you look at them, the Japanese, and they bear no ill will, for the most part. Like I saw this Asian guy who had blonde hair and put blue contacts in his eyes. How disgraceful is that? How weak is that? How pathetic is that? These people love to say that we don't have no culture. No, we do have culture, and we have pride in that culture. And I'm talking about the real FBAs out there. We have a culture that is built upon dealing with adversity from all fronts and overcoming. And that is one of the big reasons why everybody else on this planet, including the white people, are jealous of. Because they know for a fact that they would not be able to survive under those conditions. They wouldn't. But we do. We do. We were enslaved. We were in chains. They used our skin to make shoes and furniture. They would throw little black babies to alligators as bait. But we're still here. We have not been absorbed into the white culture, the unfortunate fate of the Native Americans. They have become almost completely absorbed into the white culture or into our culture. And I've seen footage of them living on those reservations. They live in horrific conditions. Horrific. They gave them some casinos. That doesn't matter. But anyway, I digress. I'm going somewhere else with this, but going back to violence as a tool. You can talk to somebody till their ears bleed. You can try and, aspire to their moral character, their non-existent moral character, and you get basically nowhere. And a lot of people are afraid to make that move. But you can't afford to be that way now. Not in Trump's America. You can't afford to be that way. And what I'm saying is this, in terms of violence and black people in America. Everybody who is my skin color needs to have weapons, whether it be guns, whether it be knives, brass knuckles, whatever. You need to go to the gym, you need to work out, you need to be ready. Because like I said in the last video, we are at war, and you need to behave as such. Okay? This isn't 2006. This isn't 2016. It is 2026. It is 2026. And we need to look at that reality or face the consequences. Nolan Wells, unfortunately, faced those consequences. And this could be an unpopular take, but I blame his parents. I blame his parents. His parents should have known better. They raised that boy on purpose, thinking that he's going to make all these connections with these people who hate him. I saw pictures of dates that he took to the prom. All non-black women. Those dudes who you think are your friends are not. Trust me, I've worked in the club business, and the white dudes are cool with you until you start fucking all these girls that they can never fuck. And some of them, the threat of you being there, just you being there, they perceive as a threat because they're cowardly, because they're insecure. And what type of mindfuck situation is that? Your white skin holds you above everybody else, yet you're still insecure, yet you're still so needy. But anyway, I digress. Going back to violence. Lon Hartman, young man who went to Bliss Fest, some bullshit alternative white fucking college up in Oregon. And while he was in his tent, these people, these motherfuckers, tried to cut his head off. And his mother tried to speak to police, she's a white woman, and they locked the door on her and his family, his friends of the family, when they just wanted some questions to be answered. The cops refused to do their job. And here goes another point. Everybody was tripping on Carmelo Anthony, right? The fact that he stood up for himself and protected himself and killed the white bully, which everybody knows that the Metcalf twins were bullies and they were little racist assholes raised by their little racist fucking pedophile father, Jeff Metcalf. And young man did what he had to do. Yeah, he's in prison right now, but he's alive. Like the black woman who shot that man in Florida, the old white man who was a veteran, and they had to tell everybody that he's a veteran and that he's a good guy, but yet he's following a woman around the car. And she warned him, more of our grace. She gave him plenty of warnings, right? Wow, a lot of people would have just capped him after the first one. But the point being is, she is alive. She is alive. We have to show white people and all the other groups, we're not trying to fucking start it with you, but if you started with us, we will finish it with you, and we will put you in the ground. That's a message that has to be sent worldwide. Worldwide. Because this society is crumbling. Everybody knows it's true. The white elites are taking their money and they're going to abandon the white proletariat here when things get too crazy, which they will. And like they always do, they're going to try and blame us for the mistakes that they made, for their cowardice. So y'all need to get out there. You need to get strapped. You need to get weapons. You need to go work out. You need to treat this situation seriously. And the thing is, look, I got white friends, right? And, they've invited me to go places with them. But I'm not going to do that shit. Even I've known you for a long time. Like, Nolan Wells, Lon Hartman, and the countless other black people who were unalived around their white friends. They knew those people for a while. And they ended up dead. They ended up dead nonetheless. They have a Facebook group, I heard, where they talk about how to befriend black people in order to get them into a disadvantageous situation where they can kill them. The Facebook group about that. So anyway, in closing, we're at war, kids. This shit's for real. You need to act as such, or you'll just be another victim. Make your choice. Are you gonna live, or are you gonna die? Anyway, this is FBA News signing off. Thank you, B1 family. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.